Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. Orange Bowl action, Georgia Tech versus Mississippi State. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined by Bryan Leonard. Bryan, I got to tell you, you know I'm a situational guy, and I'll say this right off the top. If this game was a regular season game played, the very next week after their last game, I wouldn't be on either side in this game because for Georgia Tech, you got them coming off the gut-wrenching loss in the ACC championship game against Florida State, a game that they went back and forth with Florida State. Florida State had the lead most of the game, but Georgia Tech had their opportunities to win that game, came up short, didn't get it done, so you would expect a letdown from them. And then on the flip side, Mississippi State, dream crusher. They were right there. They played their arch rival Mississippi in the Egg Bowl, and if they win that game, they're playing in the Final Four for the national championship. So you got to wonder, do they have the dream crusher hangover playing in this bowl?
Well, coming into the season, they were expected to be a very good football team, but they didn't have the pedigree, Mississippi either. I mean, those were two teams that really were going to be the surprise teams this year.
Absolutely.
And they both played very well. Neither one of them got to where they wanted to go, but they're young teams. I don't expect to let down here. This is one of the games. It's interesting because guys who go off of strictly power ratings, they can get in trouble with this game because Georgia Tech should not be power rated as high in the bowl game as they were during the regular season. He kind of touched on that because it's an offense that is not easy to prepare for. Going from week to week, and then all of a sudden you play a team like the triple option and with Georgia Tech. But now you've got an SEC defense, pretty good SEC defense, not the greatest, but pretty good SEC defense with a full month to prepare. And one of the things I always look at is how teams with an unusual offense do in the bowl games. And Georgia Tech, the last 5 times they've been there, they're 1-4 straight up, only averaging 17 points a game. You go back and see what their season records were, they're averaging over 30 points a game during the regular season. So it definitely makes a big difference here. And you've got a Mississippi State team that in 4 of the last 5 bowls they've held the opposition to 17 points or less. So you get an SEC defense going up against a team that they should be able to stop here. I think it's going to be a long day for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, if Mississippi, and the point that I made, and that's absolutely agree with you 100% about preparing for the triple option with the month. Having the month, I think, gets Mississippi State over the dream crusher, the refocus, get to this bowl game. And the problem with a team like Georgia Tech, when things are rolling and they're doing well, and you're running that option and you're winning the game, it's like you're running downhill. If they fall behind to a team like Mississippi State, who does have an explosive offense, Mississippi State, although the defense has shown up in the games, it's the offense that led this team this year. If they get up 2 scores on Georgia Tech, it puts the pressure then on that Georgia Tech offense because you don't have the capabilities to throw the football. You're a one-dimensional team, and that's when things can get ugly if the game gets out of hand early.
And Georgia Tech, even though they're the option team, they've had some pretty good receivers in their history. Their top receiver for this season is out. He got hurt a couple of weeks ago. That's going to affect them. So that, when you are in the comeback mode, and when they do throw, it's sort of a surprise. Now without your big option on offense, that's going to hurt them even more.
Absolutely. And the final part of it is this is one of those games where you look at strength of schedule. And, I don't want to knock the ACC, but you can't compare the ACC top to bottom to the SEC top to bottom. There is absolutely no comparison at all. There's a couple good teams in the ACC, but when you get to the bottom half of the ACC, it's pretty bad, and their defense was horrible in the ACC this year. Most of the teams, teams went up and down. I mean, some of the games, I'm a Pitt guy. I, still follow Pitt, and I still can't get used to them being in the ACC. But watch the games with Pitt, and Pitt used to be a team that, when they were in the Big East, it was power football, 3 yards and a cloud of dust. And now I'm watching these ACC games, and I'm watching Pitt put up 600 yards of offense and lose. And it was actually to Georgia Tech that they did have all that yardage and loss. That was a game, I think they had 5 or 6 turnovers, their first 5 possessions in the game, and it just was crazy. But nobody plays defense.
No, nobody does, and you can explain the strength of schedule part to a lot of the Florida State players because they are dumbfounded that they're a 9-point underdog in this playoff. They can't understand, hey, we're undefeated. Yeah, you haven't played anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Bryan says to take Mississippi State, lay the points against Georgia Tech. And again, unfortunately, I can't disagree with the guy. Also want to tell you guys, though, if you want to get on board all the bowl games, all the playoff games, everything right through the Super Bowl, and that is all the football plays, even all the big 5% plays. You get that included in the all-access package, the Super Bowl all-access. It's $179. Take advantage of it. Also, if you sign up at Wager Talk, your first $12 purchase, after you make your first $12 purchase at the site, email support@Wager Talk. Give them your username. We'll confirm that was your first purchase with us. We'll give you a $50 bonus. We'll put it right in your account to use on any package you want. All right, guys, we're not done yet. We've got more college bowl action. We're going to head to the Minnesota-Missouri bowl game up next. WagerTalk.com.